nicely. It's the Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. Yeah, they clean up nicely. Yeah.
Hi. What's up?
We need to start. We need to work on some kind of intro so that we know how to talk out the gate, right?
I don't know. I like the awkwardness. What's up? What'd you do this weekend? You gig?
This weekend, I had a local wedding, which was actually rad. I used some Astera tubes and had a friend come out, DJ Pink. She came out and she ran the Astera tubes. It was cool. It was just a fun wedding. They were down for everything, small, but it took a little bit to get them going. But once they did, they were jamming, and yeah, that's about it.
No conga
You?
lines?
I had no conga lines. I got them to dip it low, but I should have taken a video. I didn't get it.
I just had a normal weekend, just the bar Friday, the club Saturday. We had this dude named Garth Brooks in town playing at the Bengals Stadium, though. So it kind of threw a wrench into some things because there was like 70,000 people that liked this guy named Garth Brooks.
So I saw the video of, I think Brian Guinness posted that video, and he went Friday, right? And it was kind of dead.
Yeah, the
And
Friday
then-
show was the added show to this guy
Yeah.
named Garth Brooks. I don't even know who he is.
He's got friends all over the place.
Oh, dang. That's crazy. Anyway, we got some sponsors, quick little thing. We've got 30% off your first month of directmusicservice.com using code Drew and Fuse Show. That'll get you 30% off your first month. Also, we have an affiliate link that'll be in the comments of the video. That'll be to the Photo Booth Supply Company for their salsa booth. It's not going to help you out, but it will help the show out. So if you're in the market for a photo booth, make sure you check out that affiliate link below in the comments.
I was thinking, Fuse, once we get our shirts going, that we should do. We'll give them a free shirt if they actually end up signing up.
I like that idea. And the other one here, we got the not so sponsored by Liquid Death. So there we go. Not sponsored by Liquid Death, but we're drinking it. We're supporting, and people have been drinking it because of the show. So maybe one day we'll make it happen. But we got a great guest for you guys today, and we're just going to talk to him about a bunch of different things. And everybody knows this guy, so we're just going to go ahead and bring him on. Please help us welcome Cleveland Terry.
Good afternoon. Hey. Good afternoon. By the way, the intro is very, very nice. Is that DMS money kicking in?
No, we DJ Phrase did the intro for us. We all scratch, all original. We just said, hey, make us something fun and catchy, and literally he did that over in a day. It's pretty amazing.
That's him singing too.
Yeah. He's a talented guy. A lot of us. I've obviously back in the beginning of quarantine, when everybody was all about their green screen. I was like, this man is like on another level.
He really was. He was like up in like a castle at one point.
Yeah.
And he was doing all kinds of crazy shit. We just sent him what did we send him? The Lego theme song, Everything is Awesome. And somehow he came up with that version. I don't even know.
It works. It works. By the way, what is this Liquid Death we're drinking?
Liquid Death.
Liquid Death, our non-sponsor sponsor.
Yeah, this one's a sparkling water, and it murders your thirst.
So this is a lime sparkling water. It's non-alcoholic. It is only water, and it's murdering your thirst. So, cheers.
It's death to plastic as well. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah, and their branding was to help, like all the extreme sports and just anything in general. You go to a concert, whatever, and there's Red Bull or Monster. This is kind of like branding to kind of help with that, in that market in a sense. But
is it caffeinated or is it just
No,
Just
it's
water.
straight
Just
water. Yeah.
just water.
There's
Wow.
like
Okay.
5 different versions of it. There's a water can, it's white. There's the sparkling water can, the black can. There's this is the lime one. There's what is it? Mango is like gold. What else?
The
Oh,
berry.
there's a berry. It's like silver. But yeah, straight water, and the guy just wanted to find a new way to advertise, basically Monster and Red Bull were taking up all the ad money for all these
Sure.
extreme sports, and they just kind of flipped it. And I think it's dope. And look up their adding. Honestly, it's absolutely insane.
Okay. And what do they charge for a liquid death? A can of liquid death.
What
It's
is it?
like a $1.99 to like 2.50
No,
depending.
no, I wouldn't say that. I would say I think it depends where you buy it, right? I
Yeah.
just get on Amazon, you get the box, and then
Mhm.
It's like
12,
13.99 or
13
14.99.
bucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you buy like what is it? Like Pierre, like sparkling water,
Yeah, the
it can
LaCroix,
be
all those.
yeah, it can be kind of expensive as well. So
It can be. It can, but if like for me, I drink LaCroix just to avoid drinking like 7 Up and all those things, just to get the calories out. I never used to think about calories back in the day. It was just you drink what you want to drink. Now I have to think. I have to be aware of everything I drink now. Stupid.
The lime one is I would compare it to I don't know, it's one of my favorites, but I always like to mix it with tequila and make it a
Okay.
skinny margarita.
There you go. There you go. That works. Okay. Thanks for having me, guys. I'll see you guys later.
No, we're big fans. I mean, we kind of met I guess online.
Yeah.
You jumped on the DMS streams, and we were super grateful to have you on. And I'd always watched your videos. I mean, I was an early adopter. I'm a giant YouTube nerd. I feel like any DJ that's on YouTube, I'm just clicking and I'll watch people, good and bad. I'm not saying I think yours are awesome. I love all your tech reviews.
Thank you.
I actually like them because they're so honest. Your reviews, I just feel like I know what I'm getting when I'm going to buy it.
That's always been my thing. And one of the issues with myself is I'm kind of incapable of lying. It's just I wear everything just on my face and everything. I just say what I think and say what I feel. I always say, my wife would disagree on how much she likes that, but in general, that's just the way I am. So when I first started the videos, it was just about just kind of making things that I felt that if I clicked on a video, the information that I would want to know, and that's kind of where it got started. So I over time I've gotten a little better at being a little more concise. Obviously, you talk too much, get to the point. I'm like, look, there's got to be a combination of both. It'll never be a situation where I'm just talking specs. That's not my lane. Somebody else can do that. So, but I think I've done a better job of really kind of being more concise with the content. So when I can.
What inspired it to get you started? Were you just like what was the kind of the kicker that just you thought there was a hole in the industry? Did you think, hey, I'm gonna just be I want to start doing YouTube? What was the deal?
It actually had nothing to do with DJing. When I first started, so before we started this company, and I had worked for DJ companies before, I've been DJing since I was like, 13 or 14 years old. But around 98, you guys remember prior to 98, everybody was turntables had kind of died, and everybody was using like the old school Denon dual deck players. You remember those with the giant Q button?
Yep.
And I stopped DJing when it got to that point. I was like, this sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. So I started, and I was a dancer also, hip hop dancer. So I started dancing for this bar mitzvah company out in LA. And that was right around 98. So it was right when my first daughter was born. And I did that for 10 years, right? But I had a band, a hip hop group that I produced music for and everything. We got signed to a whole another story altogether. So I always had a creative outlet. When I wanted to be creative, I would just make a track or make music or do whatever. Then we started our company, and for like I don't know 6 or 7 years, while we were trying to build this DJ company, I had a full-time job. I had young kids.
How old are
Um,
you at this point?
so at that point, you're trying to do age now, really? At 90,
Well,
I
I
think I
asked
was
because I've been doing the same thing, and I have only one daughter because I kind of brought her up. I
okay.
was working nights and I was DJing, and then my wife was working full time, and that's the reason I only have one daughter because I wanted to have a company and I wanted
Mm.
to, be this. So I ask because I guess that's where my mind frame is where I was in my life.
I was let's see, 23 when I started doing the one bar mitzvah company. And then my wife was a farmer rep. So I had a full-time job. So when I left the company, I was like, I'm burned out. I've been doing this for 10 years straight. I need to just stop. And and I was emceeing also, so it was just a lot. And if you do bar mitzvahs, it can be a lot. And once you get in the cycle, it's really difficult to get out of the cycle because you're requested for like, years on end. So and I was DJing a little bit, but the company, they were just, I don't know. Every time I'm like, look, I can't MC this much. It's too much. I'm burning out. At least on some gigs, just put me on as a DJ. Let me just DJ. That way I can have something different. And then they would put me on and then they would just go back. And it wasn't like their DJs were any good. It wasn't about that. Back in the day, it was all about the MC. So you could have just garbage DJs and we would just cover for every bad DJ, every bad transition. It got to the point where I'm like, don't even mix. I will literally cue you up and then we will just go to the next song. And so I so I left because I was like, I can't do this anymore. You're not listening. So I'm over it. And then I just did nothing. We still had our hip hop group and we were producing music and there was some commercial ad placements. We got into some movies and all that stuff. And we got signed. Everything was going great.
What's the name of the
And
hip hop group?
check one too, actually. The
Oh,
name of my
is
DJ
it?
company.
All right.
Yeah.
Can we
So
check? Is it on Spotify? Have you uploaded it?
is it on Spotify?
I feel
I
like
don't
at this
even know.
point you need to. Like, you just got to put it up there, man.
I know it's on SoundCloud.
All
I
right.
don't know if it's on Spotify. But we got our deal and everything was great and then we lost our deal because that's what happens in the music industry. And but originally before we were Check 1-2, we were LA Rhymes, like Los Angeles Times. We were the Los Angeles Rhymes. And
Like it.
we had a little paper boy. It was a cool little thing. But when we got signed, the label's like, you can't be LA Rhymes because it's too specific, too regional. We need to change the name. And that's when we called it Check 1-2. And
Yeah.
when we lost our deal, I think I was like, I don't know, 25 or 26. And once you spend so many years doing something, I'm just like, I don't know, I'm kind of over it, right? So we just kind of stopped for a while. And my partner was still at the DJ company. And at one point, I remember I was like in my kitchen, like cleaning dishes, whatever. And he calls and he's like, I'm over this. I kind of want to go on my own. A couple of clients have already said, hey, if you want to go on your own, we will back you. Just let us know. And I said, you know what? Hold on. Before you do that, I said, do you have somebody? He says, yes, I got a guy. And he told me the guy. I'm like, you can't do it with him. No, no, no. I will do it with you. We'll do it the right way. And I was working for a consultant firm out in Westlake, and it was fine. But
What kind
there
of
was
consulting? Just
so we were a revenue enhancement company. So basically, we worked for local city government, and we basically found revenue that was being allocated to different jurisdictions. Just in a nutshell, like let's just say there's Los Angeles and there's Beverly Hills, right? And they both have some retailer, or only one has a retailer, and for whatever reason, the money that should be going to Beverly Hills is going to Los Angeles. We would find that money, put it back in Beverly Hills, and then take a percentage. And you do that across the entire state, and there's a lot of money to be made. So, because sometimes, it could be like a Best Buy that opened up and didn't realize, and they were allocating to Culver City when they should have been allocating to LA. And, they're generating hundreds of $1,000s in sales tax every quarter. So you find two or three of those, and next thing you know, you got a lot of revenue coming in. So that's what I did, and then I was a consultant to the city. So I would basically do any type of revenue adjustments for their sales tax, for their property tax. I would give forecast and future perspectives. So it was just something that I did. And the at a certain point, there was like a ceiling. You just weren't going to go anywhere else. It was what it was. So I said, you know what, might as well start the company, because if it is successful, then I can just do that. So for 8 years, I worked full time from 8 o'clock till 5, and then from 5 to 10, I would drive to client meetings. This was before Zoom. Before it was popular, so you
Starbucks.
had to meet. Yeah, you had to meet at
Starbucks.
Starbucks. You met at their house, and I
Oh, the
actually,
worst.
I actually preferred to meet at their house
Oh
because
yeah.
yeah, because you walk in and you're just like, oh, hey, look, this is a really expensive house, and
Well,
then you're
especially
sitting there.
for the bar mitzvahs that you're doing. I mean,
Yes,
that's any bar mitzvah meeting I've ever been to. And you're in LA, so we've been to the same kind of bar mitzvah meetings. And you walk in and you're like, okay, that's where we're at budget
yeah.
wise. All right, got you.
Well, no, and the funny thing is, there's been a couple of times where I'm sitting in a room with this client. I'm at their dinner table, whatever, and it's like 18 bedrooms, and I had to like one house I drove into, and I'm just like at a wall. I said, and I'm calling him like, I don't know where your house is. There's just this big ass wall. He goes, oh no, that's our house. When you drive in, go down underneath the house. There's a parking garage, and we go into the
Wow.
parking. Yeah, and there's like 15 cars down there, and we're walking, and we're sitting in their house, and he honestly says to me, so he tells me all the things he wants. I'm like, okay, great. This is what he costs. He goes, is that the best you can do? And I literally looked around the house and I said, yeah. And then he kind of laughed, like, you're not getting a deal. You make too much money. I'm sorry. Um, so, and that's a good thing, because you can walk into some people's houses and you're like, okay, I know this is probably like the upper
Oh, you
money
rich.
they can spend. Yeah, right. And sometimes you're just like, okay, I can give you a deal. You walk in, you already know that they're going to ask anyway, so you just automatically just kind of put that out there. But in
Rich
general,
people aren't rich because
I know.
they don't ask for a deal. They're rich because they ask for a deal. Like when
Yeah.
they don't ask for a deal, they're faking it.
Right. And no, you're right. There's two kinds of rich people. The ones that expect everything to kind of be given to them, and then the other ones are the ones that are like, I need to show you how rich I am.
Yeah.
Because we have a couple of things like we're doing right now where it's like we have our normal packages, because we were trying to figure out a way to increase our revenue without just like raising our rates and completely like abandoning a full segment of people. So
Right.
what we did was we kept those rates. I mean, they went up a little bit because of COVID and gas prices and all that stuff. So they went up, and we created a guaranteed, because for bar mitzvahs, the MC, even though he's not the most important part, he's important, but like the DJ is just as important. But the clients put all of their emphasis on the MC, because that's the person they see, the person on the microphone. Oh wow, the party was great. It was because of the MC. It's like, no, it's because of the DJ was playing the right music, but we won't go
Right.
there. And so we started making
You
these.
sell it as like a package?
We well
Because
we
I worked
we
with an
did.
MC where they
Mhm.
brought me in, and then they brought the company in, but they only wanted not the company. They brought the MC with the two dancers, but then I was
Right.
like on the side. So
Right. So for us, yeah, we are kind of an all or nothing company, because we have people all the
gotcha.
time like, I have a DJ. Can you just give me an MC? It's like, no, we're not going to make this DJ look better. Sorry.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll just the whole package is included. And so we started doing these guarantees, because people, it got to the point, especially after COVID, where people were like, well, I want this person, especially because there was like a 2-year window where nobody did anything. So now they're going off their friends, and their friends are like, oh, you got to have this guy, this guy, this guy. And it was the same like 2 guys. And we have like 9 people. And then it was just this fight over and over again. Or people that moved their dates because of COVID, they postponed. They were
Oh,
like, well, I get this person. It's on my contract. I'm like, that was 2.5 years ago. You can't get that
right.
person anymore. So we did this guarantee thing where it's like, look, uh, especially we developed, and we have a great reputation, so people know that no matter who you get, it's going to be a great party. But if you want somebody in particular, then you're going to pay more, because we're going to make sure that person's on your party. We're going to check with them first. They're going to guarantee that they're going to be there, and
Right.
then it's a higher cost. It's a premium cost to make sure they're guaranteed, because now they can't take any work off, they can't take the time off, they can't take another gig. It is what it is. And we made it, we we made it a certain price, and it was like, I don't know, I think it was either 1,500 or like 2K on the top. And
Yeah.
and then we did that because we wanted to make it a little uncomfortable. We didn't want to make it accessible for everybody, because then we're in the same situation, and then we just have angry people. And we started booking it, and people were like, yeah, we want it, we want. And I'm like, okay, we gotta raise the rate up. So we raised it up again, and then it got more reasonable. But because of that, we still had the other thing. So it did two things for us. One, it removed our stress levels for having to make sure that that person was on, because a lot of times, especially after COVID, and I don't know if you guys are independents, but as a multi-op, after COVID, people kind of changed their perspectives, and all of a sudden they're like, I don't know if I want to work this day. I think I just want to have a me day. You know what I mean? And you're like, okay,
I
but
do that myself. I do that myself. I want to have me days all the time.
yeah, but when you have 9 bar mitzvahs, and then all of a sudden one of them's like, I'm just not going to work. I'm like, but what do you mean you're not going to work? And so, because it used to be, they would tell you in advance, hey, I can't work 4 months from now. I got a vacation or whatever, and we'd work around it.
Right.
But now they're like, a week before, changing to no. So we got out of that. Now when people are like, okay, we have a request in, I say requests aren't guaranteed. You might get them, you might not. But if you pay for the guarantee, you will get that person, and so it's worked out for us because of that. So I'm not complaining. It's I guess what I was trying to get to, for a lot of those people, the rich people, I'm like, well, we have our normal packages, but if you really want this person, there's a guarantee, but it's kind of expensive. All our guys are really good, and they're like, well, how much is it? You tell them the price, and they're like, well, okay. And you're like, oh, you're just flexing right now. Okay, got it.
So does that person that you're trying to sell at a higher rate, do they have a lot more material? Is it only coming at reviews? Is it only coming at just like the referrals, or you know what I'm saying? Do they have a lot more videos that you're showing them, or what's enticing them to sell higher?
So we have okay, so the bar mitzvah scene is a lot of word of mouth. First off, we don't market, like we don't hit any conventions or booths or any of those types of things. That's not our thing. We've never done that. It's all word of mouth. So you have people telling them, oh, you got to have this person. Oh my God, my party was amazing. And we also do a lot of bar mitzvahs. So when the scene kicked back in, all of a sudden we had eyes on, say 8 or 9 parties with 200, 300 people on them. So all of a sudden you got, 3,000 people seeing you every Saturday, and they know what they want. And they also want to be better than their friends. That's very important.
I did a bar mitzvah, and we did a giant video wall because I did all the video, and they kept saying, well, you can't have any Will Ferrell videos because his son's going to be here.
Yes.
And no videos from Chris Martin because their son's going to be here. And so I'm also wondering, on some of these upsells or some of these packages that you're doing, are you selling an actual artist, almost like MTV, where they have like those things? Do you go and reach out to them and you're bringing those in, or is it only just your staff?
So yeah, it's for the most part, it's just our staff. I mean, a lot of times they'll say, oh, can you bring in a musician? Can you bring in a drummer, a violinist, or any of those things? And we do that also. We do full lighting. We're a full service company. The only thing we don't do is furniture, because I don't want anything to do with it. But like the clientele that we have, the party planners that book us, because first off, we don't actually need party planners. We literally book from word of mouth. And but we do have a lot of high-end party planners that book us now. And for the longest time they didn't, which was kind of humorous. But for them, we don't even give them the regular rate. It's just, here you go. This is the rate, because we know they have. It was a party planner that actually told us to raise our rates.
Right.
And they're like, people will pay. Just do it. Don't even feel like you're the best out there. Don't people think they're getting you for a steal. So
Yeah.
you have to separate yourself.
Yeah.
And which has been good though. And I know a lot of people will try to take every event out there. I am not that person. I would rather take only the higher end, the best, and get rid of the lower tier because nothing wrong with the lower tier, but the lower tier are much higher maintenance than the higher tier.
So I saw one of your TikToks, and it was like, I mean, I guess it's one of those the voices where it's like, quit asking for 2012 rates,
Yeah.
but in 2022, it's kind of the same shit, right?
It's
Is
it's nonstop and like we've changed COVID forced us to change everything. And like we got rid of stuff. We got rid of stuff that was like costing us money because we were like, how do we raise our rates without raising our rates? So we got rid of some stuff that we knew we didn't necessarily need, and then we just won't change the price, you know.
right, right.
So but you know, everybody, because we got a lot of we go back 15 years and we have a lot of clients with children that go back from, you know, the
course.
first one was the third. Now then they have 3 or 4 kids. And some of those originally we would keep their rate the same, you know. So
Right.
if they booked this in year 1 and it cost, you know, $2,500 for a package, you know, that same package now might be 4K, but they were still paying 2,500, you know, no matter
Right.
what. So, and I thought that was good, but after COVID, I'm like, we can't. The entertainers want more money.
Right.
Everybody wants more money now, you know. So it is what it is.
Yeah, and that's definitely we're seeing that across the board everywhere. Everyone, you know, gas prices are double or triple. You got to start charging more money, and I feel that somehow the DJs just got stuck in this bubble
Uh
of
huh.
we're expected, but I really see it's changing. And any DJ that's listening, I hope you're listening, and you know, start changing your market as well.
And to be fair, because I know there's some resistance to raising the rates. I've seen this a couple of times. Rob Swift he's a friend of mine, and but he posts all the time like, you know, people keep saying raise your rates, but don't raise your rates if you're just doing the same thing you've always done. You need to keep your rates the same, and I'm just like, he's right to a point. Like if you're giving out garbage product, then you shouldn't raise your rates just because everybody else is. If your product isn't as good, but you know, at this point in time, I can't even bring in a DJ, you know, for under a certain amount to work for us. They'll just flat out tell me no, you know, and I got to look at it like, well, we're the same way. If a small tier client calls us or a school calls us and they're like, we want you, but our budget's only $300, but we want, and I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it because not one DJ I send will actually accept this money. So you're gonna have to spend more. So I
Well,
get it.
they could do a club for the same price with zero headache.
Mhm.
You know, you're drinking and you don't have anybody telling you don't play a curse word or change this or do this
Right.
or you know, that's half
And
of
you're
the problem.
and you're playing for, I mean, not everybody, but most people like in LA, you know, you play for like an hour, maybe 2 hours tops, unless you book the whole night. So it's like it's a difficult thing, you know, to do. But I get it. People need to live. People need to survive. I know the clubs are, I mean, I haven't actually been to a club since I DJ'd a couple of Spanish clubs, but I was isolated. But like I haven't like been in the middle of a club in a long time. You know, I used to go to this club called The Room. It's a hip hop spot, but
I know the room.
it's
I love
yeah,
that spot.
it's a great spot. But you
So much
walk
fun.
in and but it's packed. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to stand this close to people. And there's
Yeah.
nowhere to go to be away from people. So I'm just like, I'm good. I just will stay home for now until it gets a little better.
Well, I get it. I mean, I really just think I was booking a bunch of bars and I just see these DJs that little bit extra try or that
Mhm.
hey I have to have clean versions or somebody's going to be yipping in my ear is just enough stress. I mean, DJs are assholes, let's be honest, right? So it's just that little bit of extra stress that you're putting on their plate that there's like, well, fuck it, I don't need that little bit extra money.
Yeah.
So even though to us it's easy, it's like, dude, I don't need it. But
Yeah.
we will
Agreed.
we're gonna come back to this. We're gonna just shake it up a little bit. We're gonna hit you with some rapid fire questions. It's now time for rapid fire.
All right.
Production, man. The production's on point.
All right, this is the segment. It's called rapid fire, but it's also called not so rapid fire because it ends up being kind of slow. So the first question we like to ask is the last thing that you listen to on Spotify or vinyl, whatever, something that you listen to in your personal time.
The last album I listened to was Kendrick's last album.
Okay.
Oh, so
That-
good. What'd you
that-
think?
that's
I,
what
I love it, but
So
you need headphones and you need about 20 times listens.
yes, that's exactly what I was gonna say. It's not something you can just play and be like, okay, it's great, because there are no like real like bangers like other albums are. But the whole album, if you listen to from start to finish, is like, okay, I understand the story. Like I see everything that he did, and there is a story in this. But yeah, Kendrick's always great for me. Although I still think his Untitled album is the best one. A lot of people don't agree, but that Untitled album is amazing.
There it is.
What's your favorite thing to do when you're not DJing?
I am a huge movie buff. So I love watching movies, and it could be, any type of movie, international. I love action. I just love movies. So I actually thought about creating a movie channel just because of my love for movies.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the top 3? Like, if you had right now, just off the top of your head, top 3 favorite movies.
I hate top threes. I hate top anythings because like I always feel like if you love the art, you probably don't have a top. But and especially when you watch so many movies. But let me see here. Top movies. That's a tough one. That is a
So,
really, really tough one.
So
I would
I'll
say-
interject a little bit. I'm not saying
Uh-huh.
you're wrong, but I was talking with somebody recently, and we were saying how a top movie for me is something that I'll actually rewatch multiple
Of course.
times.
Well, then
Where
that's
I love the
bad.
new Batman movie, right? But a rewatch of it, I need
You can't watch
some
it over
space.
again.
I
You
need some
can't.
time.
I watched the Batman. I watched it in theaters with my wife, and I'm like, this was really, really good. And then
Yeah.
I was in Texas at a convention just recently, and then my son, I'm like, hey, let's go watch Batman again. So we watched Batman again. I'm like, this is really good. And then it came on HBO Max. Can't watch it.
Yeah. So that's my point of like a real good movie, right? It's something that you can watch and watch and watch and watch. You'll actually buy the fucking DVD. But, so I do feel there are some levels.
Okay. See, but the problem with that is, and I agree with you, but a lot of the movies that you might rewatch might be trash for people. Like for the longest time,
that's a fact.
I would watch Armageddon over and over again. Over and over again. I know it was cheesy. I know it was corny, but I don't know, something about it. I just loved watching it. But I
Liv
think,
Tyler.
yeah, it was. I don't know what it was, but one of my favorite movies is definitely The Dark Knight. No matter when that's on, I can watch it all the way through every time. What's another good one? There's an
Spaceballs.
older Spaceballs was good. But you know what? I was never a huge Mel Brooks fan. I
Okay.
like what he does, but like it never really like resonated with me. There is a movie called Searching for Bobby Fischer,
Yeah.
which I loved when I was growing up. It was just a great, great movie. Action wise, I mean, I guess I could break it down. So action, I would say one of my most rewatched movies ever is Aliens with the S. So that's the second one. Love that film. Drama, yeah, probably like Searching for Bobby Fischer. Comedy is hard. The movie that I keep finding myself going back for is what was the Ben Stiller Robert
Something
Downey
about
Jr.
Mary?
Tropical
Something
Thunder.
about
Tropic
Mary,
Thunder.
no?
Tropic
Tropic-
Thunder, yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, so good.
It is one of the most underrated movies ever.
Yeah.
It is brilliant, like from start to finish. And Robert Downey Jr. is just like a god in that movie. Blackface and
like-
all.
I like those movies where I saw it in the theater and I didn't expect it, right? I walked in and I had no idea. I was just like, oh, it's a Ben Stiller movie. At least I get a good laugh. And you walk out and you're like, what the fuck just happened? That shit was like
So,
epic.
The most unexpected movie I ever went to was I knew it was going to be good. I just didn't know it was going to be that good. Was Tombstone.
I like Tombstone. That's a
Yeah,
good
Tombstone was one of my all-time favorites. I remember walking out and I was with my friend and we just looked at each other like, Jesus, that was good.
What's your Huckleberry?
Yeah, I'm your Huckleberry. Exactly. Yeah,
I'm your Huckleberry.
One of Val Kilmer's best movies ever.
Have you
So
seen
yeah,
that Val Kilmer?
Val, the
Uh,
documentary.
yeah, wow,
I
that's
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
hard to
crazy.
watch.
It
It's
is
hard to watch.
so hard to watch.
Yeah, because he was. I mean, it's true though. He was never a leading man. He was better as the second. Anytime he's the second guy, he was second in Heat, which is also a great movie. Second in Tombstone, but anytime he was like the Saint, where he was like, I'm like, oh God, this movie sucks. But yeah, he went
Willow.
downhill. Top Gun, Willow, right. You are great.
Well, Top
um,
Gun, he wasn't that. He was the second in Top Gun.
he was the
So
second Top Gun, which is why he was
there,
good.
yeah.
Yeah. And I can't wait for Top Gun Maverick. It
Oh,
looks really good.
I already
man.
have tickets for next Thursday, so I'm pumped for that one too.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one favorite, I know Drew already knows this, but my all-time favorite movie is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It's the one that I can sit down and watch. If it comes on TV, it's like always I can just sit there and watch it.
You're right. It is a great film. Although I lost the mystique with Ferris Bueller. It's still great, and if it's on, you know every line that's coming through. But yeah, I just kind of stopped. But it's
Yeah.
a great film, though.
Do you have a favorite remixer or producer? And that can be anything. It doesn't have to be like DJ wise. It can just be somebody that you listen to.
My favorite remixer is Spider Tech.
Okay. All right.
Nice. Shout
All right,
out Spider Tech.
This is a question that sometimes can stump people a little bit, but is there a popular song that you should be playing that you just refuse to play, or a particular artist maybe that you just can't bring yourself to do it?
Okay. So I mean, obviously, I'm not playing WAP. No matter who asks for it, it's just not the thing that I do, especially doing on bar mitzvahs, even if it's clean. But I am the opposite of a lot. There's a lot of DJs out there that are like, I won't play. There's certain things I won't do, and I'm like, look, if the people are dancing, I'm gonna play the song. I don't care. Um, and it took a while to get used to. The new hip hop is just so bad. Not all of it, okay. I mean, but it's so bad that it's like, oh, how do you even like this song? Like, I don't think about playing the song because it's so bad, and then people ask for it and they all go off. So it took a minute for me to like re-love hip hop and not even love it from like a personal perspective, but just as a DJ. Like, okay, I can see why this song is what it is. I think the problem is it used to be you could see why a song was a hit. You're like, oh, that's definitely a hit. Now you're just like, I have no idea. You think the one's hit and they tell you the song they want you to play. You're like, this is garbage. So but
Well, you're dealing
probably
with young kids. Young kids
exactly.
they're the worst. I don't think they have any rhyme or reason to why
No.
it's a hit. They heard it on SoundCloud and they just sent it to their friend and they just listened to it. It's probably
Yeah.
like it's like our shitty movies, right? Something
Yes.
we grew up with, and it's like, oh, it's the shitty movie that I laugh at with my friends. I don't think
But
it has any like actual
it
danceable or
it had
listenability to
nothing to
it.
do with that. And the reason that I know this is because once we got out of COVID and we started doing these bar mitzvahs again, and I'm like, you send them your music requests, like, hey, give us songs you want to hear, you don't want to hear, blah, blah, blah. For I think it was like 9 months, kids were like, just play what you play. They didn't know. Why? Because they weren't at school. They weren't being
Uh,
pushed into liking music, because the popular kid loves this one song. So now everybody loves this one song. So it
right.
literally just dried up. And we were back to playing, I don't know, Kesha. Like everybody wanted music from like 2015 to 18. Like that was like the prime time because that's what they
Right.
remembered.
Right.
So
It's funny you say that. I just did a prom, and that was pretty much what happened. They almost had no taste in music. It's just
yeah.
like whatever.
I
There
mean,
was no
even
new
at
hits.
the bar and club you play, I mostly do bar club stuff still, and it's like if I play a new song, people are like, oh, cool, as soon as it comes in, and then like 10 seconds later, nobody cares anymore. But if you play, a song from the 2010s, like they're
Yeah.
more into that. It's just so bizarre right now.
Yeah.
You
You're
know,
right. That's why I've always told people, if you're unsure of a song, start with the hook. And
Always.
because that will tell you what they're reacting to. Because a lot of people love hook, TikTok, reels, all that stuff is just kind of shortened people's attention span. So they know the chorus, they know the popular part of the song that is been in all the reels and the TikToks. But then once you pass that, they have no idea what the rest of the song is.
Right.
So you got to get in and out. Like people got mad at me. I'm like, dude, mix faster. You don't play whole songs. Like that's my whole thing. Don't play whole songs. People are like, what are you talking about? If you're playing whole songs right now in this climate, there's no way you're being successful. I don't care what you say. Because people they don't want to hear all the music. You can play some old school stuff and play a little longer, but like the new stuff, you got to get in and out now.
So this is one of our questions that we wanted to talk to you about, because we know you had a little controversy with that, and we actually agree with you heavily. We're mixing so fast that I'm burning through 250 songs in a night. Even at a wedding, I'm playing fast as hell. And so anybody that's arguing with you is just old.
Yeah. Yes.
or they're I don't even know where the fuck they're DJing, to be completely honest with you.
I think a lot of people measure
They don't know
success.
how to do it, or they don't know how to do it correctly.
Well, that's the thing. But I think a lot of people measure success on nobody complained and people were on the dance floor. You know what I mean? But people are going to be if you're doing a wedding, I don't care how bad a DJ you are, weddings make people happy. Weddings, you're on the dance floor, you're drinking heavily, they're going to be on the dance floor. It's not what you're doing that's keeping them on. So I think that a lot of people are like, okay, hey, I play. When a dude told me that he played like 50 songs for the entire night.
Can you imagine, Views?
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah,
God.
he's like, I played 50 songs and they all went off and I played them all the way to the end and party rock. I'm like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
To be a fly on the wall.
Right. And exactly. And I'm just sitting there going, look, I understand people are allowing, but that doesn't mean you are being great. It just means that they just don't care. And there's a difference there.
Standing in the middle of the room, they're gonna just be around the bride, whether it's like,
Exactly.
wow, DJ, we're still letting this verse play, huh?
Yeah.
Just fading in and out. Fuck, I feel like 50 songs is like a cocktail playlist.
It is. And it's so funny because like I DJ for kids. So like at this point in time, I've gotten to a point where I'm slamming on every kid song.
Oh yeah.
I go maximum jumpage is what I call it. They're jumping, they're screaming. The moment they stop jumping, bam, cut it. I'm in another song right then and there, because that's what you have to do.
And they'll tell you real fucking quick. We should get some of these wedding guys to go DJ a bar mitzvah or a kids party. They'll tell you real quick how shitty you are playing 50 songs. They'll be like, DJ, cut.
I still
roll it up.
Well, there was we always bring in club DJs to do our events because we want to make sure that they know how to DJ. But we always have to reprogram them because they don't get it. And I remember this one DJ. He was a really good DJ. But because every club DJ is like, dude, when you do bar mitzvahs, anybody can do that. Anybody can do it. It's like, no, you can't. It's a different thing. And I would never assume that just because you DJ a club, you know how to DJ a bar mitzvah. And I would assume the same thing. If you DJ a bar mitzvah, that you may not know how to DJ a club correctly. And and I remember the DJ, he's out there and he's playing, and I'm like, you might want to get out of this song a little faster. Because I'm like kind of shadowing him. And he's like, and he's not in, and I'm watching the kids, and they're just like, the next song. And he goes to play this one song. I can't remember what it was, but I'm like, I wouldn't play that song. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I wouldn't play that song. And he's like, no, this song works. This song kills. I'm like, okay. So he plays the song, right? And he drops the song, and the kid turned around and booed him. Just flat out booed him, right? And I'm like this, like getting under the table, like, I told you.
Yeah.
And and it's a learning experience. And I I'm not telling DJs to stay in their lanes because like I love DJing clubs when I get the opportunity also. But I also understand that if I DJ a club, I got to go into it with a different mindset. And I just don't feel that club DJs come into the bar mitzvah with the same mindset. And a club DJ to a bar mitzvah to a wedding are all different. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so but you have to treat them all with respect or you're gonna bomb. Like I DJ a wedding completely different than I DJ a bar mitzvah, than I DJ a club. And you have to understand all the differences.
But the club DJing to a wedding, I
You can
every
do
time
that.
I second guess myself and I'm playing I'm playing a wedding and I'm like, oh, I should just mix out of this. And I second guess it. I'm like, I'm gonna let the second verse play.
Uh-huh.
Dude, it's a wrap. I knew I should have mixed out. I should have mixed out. Just follow your gut with some of this. It's just with the kids, you need to really be
Yeah.
chorus mixed out.
I would rather have a song or two out of the 300 songs I played on a wedding, people react to like, oh, should have kept that on. I would rather have that than play too long and they're just like, I'm bored as hell. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'd rather get burned a couple of times. It's okay.
Do
That's
you-
why we
so
have so
I
much music.
I play it at 18. The club I do on Saturdays here is 18 and up, and
Mhm.
we average about 800 people in there on Saturday. We
Okay.
can do about 1,000. One of the things that I think, and it's the same because it's 18 and up, and about half the crowd is always 18 to 21. And I think one of the things is, these kids come, from high school and they've never been into this social setting like this
Mhm.
before. So they have like this
Right.
idea of what they think it's supposed to be. So as soon as it's not that, they're the first ones to look up to you or tell you like, hey, I
Yes.
don't like this, and I think it's
Mhm.
probably the same with what you're doing too, at the bar mitzvahs and stuff.
It's 100%. My whole thing, and look, I take requests all night. That's fine. A lot of times they'll come up and ask me for a song that I was going to play anyway. I don't care about those. But my whole thing is, if the kids are like coming up to you constantly asking you for music, right? That means you're not DJing correctly.
Amen, dude. I
Yep.
tell you,
I
it's we were
completely
talking
agree.
about we were talking about Top Gun earlier, and I call it the tailspin right before Goose dies. Is
Right.
right before Goose dies. Every time I'm getting requests coming up, I'm like, I'm in the tailspin. Like I
Yeah.
can't get out of it, and
Mhm.
you're circling, you're spiraling, you're about to just get hit by the cockpit and die. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's one thing for somebody to come up and say, can you play a line dance? Like, okay, that's completely different. I get that. I don't typically play a lot of line dances because they're not necessary.
Yeah.
But yeah, but if they're like, hey, can you play First Class? Can you play Best Friend? And if they're doing all that, you're like, oh wait, I'm like, I did I did 2 bar mitzvahs this weekend. So on Saturday night, it was just normal. I was playing everything. They were on the floor dancing all the time. I think they asked for like 1 line dance. Fine. The second day, it was a different crowd in a different city. The one I was in Calabasas, the second one I was in Venice. So the kids were different. And you obviously typically start with kind of what works, right? And I'm playing it. They're there, they're not really into it, but they're still jumping and screaming. And then somebody's like, oh, can you play? And I had played Starships earlier, like after we did the horror. And the girl comes back and says, can you play Starships again? And I'm like, no. But then I said, okay. So then I went to like Super Bass and all this other like kind of cheesier stuff, and they screamed the rest of the night. And it's like, okay, sometimes you might need a course correction. I don't have a problem with course corrections because
Right.
you don't know what you're going to get a lot of times when they might give you a playlist or a questionnaire music, and it's nothing that what the crowd wants. It's what they want, but not what the crowd wants. So I get that. But I think the difference is you have to be able to course correct. And I don't know that a lot of DJs out there are capable of course correcting. They know what works, especially for kids music, because if you're not in the kids music, you're not deep in it. You think that they all want Taylor Swift, and none of them do. So you have to be able to adjust. And I don't think that a lot of DJs are adjusting like they should.
Do you find it hard? I find it a little I don't want to say hard because my nights are great, but I think there's a lot of like disparity between and I'm at the club and we have a large number there, but it's like as soon as you start playing some hip hop, in a group of songs together, it's like the kids that wanted to jump up and down to the EDM are like now mad,
Mhm.
and then vice versa. It's really strange right now, even
Yes.
versus like, in the EDM bubble era, like the hip hop was just as big then too. But
Right.
and like people were, I felt a little more accepting of hearing both in the club. But now it's like it's hard to kind of get everybody on the same page.
You have 800 people in a room, and you have each one of those 800 people literally playing their own Spotify playlist in their head.
Yep.
So the moment you change to something else, they're like, wait, this is not what I wanted, but you're like, but there's 800 people in here. There's 799 more people that are okay. I do like 4 or 5 very large grad nights. Been doing them for the past like 7 years. And it's the same way, but you just, I don't know, you have to kind of ignore it because it's like, if and there's always like there's especially the EDM people and like the deep house, all those people are the most vocal sons of bitches you'll ever hear.
And it's hilarious to me because they think they're the most open-minded, and they're not. They're
Right.
actually the most closed-minded people.
Yeah. And if I see this, this house sign like over and over again, I'm just like, I am so done right now. Sorry. This girl asked for Beyonce. I got to play Beyonce for a moment. Give me a minute.
I just do the clipboard. There's the clipboard. If it's only way to survive those dances, the clipboard.
Yeah, I do the Request Now app, but same concept though. And even then, even when I do the request or the clipboard like you do, sometimes I feel like you give them it's like putting your name in line for a restaurant, you know what I mean? And if like you're jumping over their request, they're like, what do you mean? I was like the second one. Why aren't you playing my music? So it kind of backfires on you a little bit, but
I never
it is
thought
what it
about
is.
it like that. I just look at the clipboard I do it more because I'll just check it like once an hour. So by
Okay.
the time I get to it, it's like,
Oh wow.
you're
Once
right.
an
I didn't
hour.
play that.
That's crazy.
Because I give a fuck. Because if I'm still rocking it and I'm playing fast as fuck and I still have it going, the clipboard is really, it's just an afterthought. It's most of the time it's
Nah.
something that's going to be on
You're
there,
setting people up to be pissed off at you.
and that's fine. As long as I have the majority, I don't really care. You know?
Yeah. Well, and
Drew,
that's the way you got to look at it. It's the majority that wins over anything else.
You got to tell them
Anything-
about your other thing, what that you like to do. Do you actually think that would work right now? Are we in the same room?
That's been one of the requests I've been. If you get a request lately, you look at them, you're like, "Are you in the same room that I'm in? Look over there." And they look around, they go, "You know what? You're right. I don't know that that's what works." Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know that there's some people out there that will just tell people yes. I'm not that guy. Like if they ask me for a song that's just stupid, no, sorry, that's not the room we're in. Can't do it. Can't do it. And some people understand it. Some people the guys understand it more than the girls do, is my experience. They want to hear what they want to hear.
The clipboard I just like because I'm deaf and I can't hear, so it's like, oh, I can see. Oh, I got you. Like, let me.
Well,
let me
no.
look
I
or
appreciate the
whatever.
clipboard. That's the same. Like I said, same thing as like with the request app, and especially me because like I rock in ears, and there's nothing worse because I don't know what it is. Like for instance, I have an in ear in. I don't have one in on this one. This is the way I typically DJ. Yet for whatever reason, why are they always talking in this ear every time? I just don't understand it.
Well, I'm curious what this request app is that you keep referring to. I don't know about this.
There's actually several. There's Spinstream has one.
Say one more time because I'm gonna write these down.
Spinstream. Let me see if I can find the
Spinstream.
Yeah, so Spinstream originally they have a request app, but they also made a hardware audio rerouter, kind of like Black Hole so when people were streaming and they couldn't get their audio to work because it was on like the upper registry channels and it just wouldn't register in OBS. So they created a little app that would find that and then put it back where it's supposed to be so you could still stream. So they have that one, and then they have the Spinstream, that one, and then there's another one called Request Now, and Request Now is a little more easier to use because
like a cell number or what?
So what it is it's a QR code or cell phone or cell number, but they can just do it and it pops up. It's a little web browser, and then you can put in your app. and it will try to find the song that they're requesting. And then when it comes to you, it tells you the name of the song, whatever. If it can't find it, it'll still put it in there, but it might not be. So that one's great. And then you can tell them yes or no or click off. And when it plays, you can check it off and I think it'll tell them that it was played. It's great. I love SpinStream, except for the fact that it requires an app. So everybody at the place has to be using the app. What's cool about it though is SpinStream takes your database, and it takes not only your database, but what you choose to be music that they can request. And then they can request within there. And then when you play it, it automatically sends them a message like your song's on. So that's really cool. But
That's dope.
yeah,
It's
except
interesting,
for the
but
fact that it's an app.
yeah,
I don't trust people. Nobody wants to download an app
no.
at a nightclub.
So one of the things we brought up on the last episode was DJs on TikTok, and we wanted to kind of talk to you about this. What are your thoughts on DJs on TikTok and the dancing, lip syncing DJs? Like, how does that make you feel?
So, I mean, obviously, we all know that there was a video of a dude that was lip syncing and DJ syncing throughout his thing, and I made a video on it, and it kind of blew up, and it became a huge thing. And he's one of those singers singing along to every song. And even before I caught the issue, I'll just leave it at that. I was just like, why are you smiling and singing so much? Like, this is not what DJs do. And I'm not trying to say you have to be, mean mugging and, gangster, but like, that's not what DJs do. And so he's one of them. I like Justin the DJ a lot. I think he's got great videos.
I'm a big fan of Justin too.
Yeah, but he's also a singer guy. And every time I watch his videos, in the corner of my mind, I'm just like, but do you have to sing the song? Like, it's playing.
You know what I like about Justin is his production is great, and so he's got the green screen on
Yes.
certain ones, and it's just a little bit more cutting edge than some of the.
Agreed.
I'm just mixing songs that shouldn't be mixed together.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And again, this is nothing, there's no disrespect to Justin. I actually love what he does. And as far as like kind of the whole DJ mixing comedy thing, I think he's got his finger on the pulse. Like he gets it. So I totally do love that. But yeah, if you're singing and dancing, like I only know one DJ, and she's a girl, and her name is J Rose. She's the only person I've ever seen sing and dance to the music. And I know because she loves the music. She loves DJing. It's all about just being in it. She's the only person I've ever seen truly like embody it. Everybody else, you get a camera on them, and all of a sudden it's like normal DJs, like, okay, they're just, and they're doing their thing. The moment a camera comes on you, all of a sudden, you're the whole time. You don't do that in real life. Only when a camera's on you, and
How dare you? How do you don't know me? I'm like that in real life all the time.
And I because and again, like I if the mix is good, the mix is good, but I get it that you have to be more animated in order to like catch people's eyes in TikTok. But so like perfect example is Nick. Nick Spinelli. His stuff, he dances a little bit, but Nick will even admit it to himself. He's kind of a goof. So when he does dance, it's like
It's on brand.
Yeah, but it's weird and kind of awkward, and it's just Nick. So you're just like, it's a joy to watch.
Yeah.
And
He's doing it live.
He's doing it live.
And that's what I think is the key too. Like, he's showing that he's doing the stuff live. It's not just I'm sitting at my house and I'm just mixing song A into song B. And
that shouldn't be mixed together.
Yeah. Yeah. That's even a questionable topic too. Like, of when are you ever playing those two songs together in a real life situation? But
right.
maybe this is working for some guys, maybe they're getting bookings, and that's great. I don't mean to be like hating in that sense, but when I scroll through, Drew will always tell you I'm a little more of a hater than some people, but it's just like kind of cringy to me. So I wanted to ask also if you had some good suggestions, because I have some suggestions on what I would do. But
So I have a friend. His name's Waddy J, and he's a kind of a routine kind of video guy. And instead of like singing along and being overly animated, he brings other elements into his videos. So like he'll have like clips of stuff that kind of correspond to what he's DJing and everything, and it kind of takes away from people having to just stare at the DJ the whole time, and it adds a little more excitement. So I like that way when you actually, it seems like you put some thought into, because look, they're not live. So if they're not live, why are you stuck doing just the one thing? You could do whatever you want. Like Lazy Boy when he did the fool's gold competition. Like
Yeah.
I was like, that's exactly what you should do. And I would like to see more people DJ like that.
And he won, by the
and he
way,
won.
right?
Exactly.
The other guys that were just kind of in their bedrooms doing whatever, he went so far out of the fucking box, like had Muppets DJing and like
The other guys were pissed.
Yeah.
Were pissed, and it was like, hey man, he listened to the rules and he did what he needed to do, and he
Yeah.
beat you. Like he set the record straight.
He set
Yeah.
the bar high, and it was definitely fun to watch. I remember watching it live and going, "Holy fuck!"
Yeah.
If he doesn't win, I was like pissed, because it was definitely amazing. Yeah,
Yeah, and then you had people like like Dynamics, who's super dope DJ, and he's literally DJing on a DDJ 1000, and he might as well be DJing on turntables. Like, there
even the
are people.
Hercules he does on the plane.
Yes,
is incredible.
exactly. So I think that if you're DJing, then your skill sets should be front and center. If you're just mixing two songs together, I just think you should be more creative with it. I mean, unless you're like Miles Medina and he just rips it every time, but he's a different person. So I don't know. I mean, I kind of been thinking about it the same way. I like the way Nick does it because I think that it's far more important for people to see it done in a live atmosphere than just kind of this pre-recorded nonsense, because we learned it's like, well, do you do this live? Like, how does this mix work when you're DJing at the club or when you're DJing at the wedding? Are people still with you, when you play? Like, I mean, like, and I hate to bring, the other guy, but it was like, he would do stuff like, I don't know, play that funky music into like something that was so obscure that like it would completely isolate a room. People would just stop and be like, what the hell is going on right now? And you never see the song before. You only see the song starting. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, that's not real DJing. Like, I want you to do 3 songs. I want you to end 5 seconds of the first song into the next one, into the third one, because that's real life.
And even that TikTok could be chopped, so you just stop playing the whole song. It could just be the transitions.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of different ways, I think.
One of the things that Drew and I have been big speakers of, and we still get asked all the time, what are we using? What are we using? Is the 360 cam. And
which I like a lot.
Yeah. And I post mine on TikTok just live from the bar, just of the camera in motion. You'll see some of the crowd. I might not be doing anything crazy in the video, but at least it's kind of showing a real life situation of what's going on. And I think that, if you are a guy that's showing up to an event and it's only you, that the 360 cam is going to be your best friend, because you could go set it up, start playing, record yourself. Maybe you're going to do a routine and you can film that part of that routine, and boom. Then
I gotta get one of those. How much are they?
I think they're like $450-ish.
Yeah, I think I got the whole kit for $450.
Yeah.
With the SD card and the stick.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get one. I've been on the fence, and then like DJ Spider uses it all the time, and I'm just like, that's dope. But then I kind of, and so does Caution.
Sorry, I was just gonna say Spider's another great example of how to do it correctly, I feel like.
Right. But I kind of felt like, okay, but is everybody, you know what I mean? It's like, but is everybody going to start doing it, and all of a sudden every video is going to look like that? Like, I don't know.
Well, there's a way to edit that video to, you can edit it in different ways. So it doesn't have to pull out and just do that view. You can have it spin around and show the crowd and show you, and just be still stuck in the same spot.
So I'm assuming then that it takes all sources, all feeds from that camera, and then you go back in and do whatever you want with it.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
It's
That's
pretty
cool.
neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can even edit it in like standard mode. You could edit it in like and you could do it all on your phone, which is pretty
Oh, that's
cool. So
great.
like let's say you were traveling and you were in the airport, you could like just pull out the camera and the apps on your
Yeah.
phone, you could edit it and send it directly to your phone right there and boom, like have a video to upload.
I think I'm gonna buy one.
Well,
And
I've even seen Lazy Boy do some creative ways with it, where he's holding
Yeah.
it out and he drives to wherever he's going, and
Yeah.
then he walks down, and the next thing he's there. Like you can get super creative with it. It doesn't. I mean, and that just goes for everything we're saying, right? With a TikTok, just get creative.
Yeah.
The people that stick out a little bit more, put that little bit extra effort into it, and it's tough because obviously content, and the more you're putting out, the more views. So.
Totally.
Content it's a lot right now. And even I'm kind of I don't want to say overwhelmed, but like there's only so much time in the day. And back when we didn't have parties and it was just we're just sitting in our houses, you had plenty of time. But now it's like, I mean, I'm looking at my schedule. Like after this call, I have like 9 conference calls I need to be on, and it's like, and I have to do a YouTube video and I got to make content for IG and TikTok. Like it's a lot. It's a lot
Yeah.
right now.
I just want to say I don't know how you do it. It you and Janai and Nick and like everybody, they have stuff popping up all the time. It's crazy. It's such a disciplined thing. So I applaud you for everything that you do.
And Janai went like head first. Like Janai went from nothing to like everything.
Yeah.
And he's so busy already, but
Yeah, exactly.
So one of the things we want to ask you about is we're gonna do a little new tech segment. We know you like technology and you're a technology guy, so we're gonna run the segment video, and then if there's anything.
Oh, I'm sorry. I really wanted the one word curse word just because we're building them.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's do that. So one of the things on our not so rapid fire list of questions is, what is the best non-curse word, one word insult?
That's a hard one because for me, I just don't talk. That is like mine. I'm all about the look like, okay.
It's
You
the
just
stare.
Yeah,
We've had
it's the stare for me.
jabroni, we've had clown, we've had what are some other ones, Drew?
I actually don't mind stare. I kind of it's like I guess you're not insulting anybody, but like just a no words, nothing. I get it.
Yeah, I'm my favorite word though is definitely trash and basura, which is also trash.
All right,
Trash
there
it
you
is.
have it. What else did you want to ask him from this list, Drew? Let's see.
LA food. What's your
Mhm.
go-to LA food spot?
Like just okay, are we talking like fast food or are we talking about like just going out to
Doesn't
dinner type
matter.
thing?
If
So,
someone comes to LA from out of town, where are they going?
where would I take them? Oh, that's a tough one because we don't go out as much anymore. There's a what is that restaurant called? There's a restaurant. There's actually 2 of them. One in Westlake, one in Northridge. It's called Finney's, and it's like a craft brew house. But what's cool about them? I'm gluten free, by the way. Is all their food is gluten free, but it's the first place that's like gluten free and amazing gluten free. So like I can get like chicken breast gluten, fried, and hamburgers with like great buns. But if somebody was from out of state and you're like, take me to what's the most popular, I mean, I'd probably take them to In and Out, because that's the thing. But yeah, I don't really have places. I have styles because of the gluten issue. So like
Makes
I
sense.
eat a lot of Mexican food because it's all corn and rice, and I can usually be safe about it. So yeah, we do a lot of Mexican food. Like I probably eat at Baja Fresh more than I need to. It's just kind of
What's
my
the
thing.
what's the go-to at Baja Fresh? Because I have one just around the corner, and I haven't been in years.
I eat chicken nachos like they're going out of style.
All right.
That's my food. My wife gets mad at me because like every Sunday, you work all day on Saturday. Every Sunday, typically, if it's like football on or basketball on, she's like, what are we having? I'm like, I don't know what you're having. I'm having chicken nachos from Baja Fresh. You can do whatever you want.
All right, I'm gonna hit you with this new tech segment video, and then we could talk about some new tech. Anything that you want. It could be a computer gadget, anything. Doesn't matter at all. Doesn't have to be DJ related at all. So we'll run this video.
Gotcha.
And here we go.
All right.
Hey, yo, I need some new technology.
So who's singing? Is that still that's you? That's funny.
How about all of them? I did all of them super late at night, and I just was having fun.
No, I get it. As a matter of fact, I need to spend more time with my transition segments because I do my Tech Thursday. But I need to. I've been saying I'm going to do it, and then I just things get in the way. So
I did them all with story blocks. Everything with story blocks, and they have an editor inside of it. I honestly did.
Oh my
it all on
gosh.
the website.
You literally just became a YouTube commercial. This video is sponsored by Storyblocks. Like everybody uses Storyblocks. So you're the first person I've ever known that's actually uses it.
No, it's great.
It's great.
Really good. We've used them in some of our gig logs too. So
Yeah.
we'll use it. It's great.
So I'm gonna start doing video essays, and I need kind of just off the cuff content as I'm talking that I can go into. So they have a really good selection there.
Yeah, they'd also do music and everything, so it's pretty easy to just use that and source everything.
Okay, because I've been using Epidemic Sound forever. But if Storyblocks has that and video, maybe I'll do that instead.
Yeah, it's fairly reasonable. Both the videos and the songs are from Storyblock.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right, I'll check it out. Thank you. And are they the same way where as long as you pay them, well, I don't say anything you put out while you pay them, you can keep, but after you stop paying them, you can no longer use their content.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works, but I'm
Because you're not buying them per video, right? You're just downloading what you
no,
want.
it's just a subscription.
Yeah,
You can
okay.
download it, and you can
And
download the full
one of-
MP4 or whatever.
One of the things that we run into some problems with, and you might run into problems with this too, is like when you upload to YouTube, you might catch something that gets copywritten, even though it's like not supposed to, and then you have to dispute it and kind of tell them. Do you have any issues with that stuff?
No, Epidemic Sound has been really, really good with music. And that's one of my biggest fears because, as a YouTuber, I don't want to release the next Rev 7 video that's going to do 45 to 50,000 views. And I get stuck in that whole, copyright thing because the copyright thing doesn't necessarily get you all the views back. It just kind of gets you on a go forward. So for all that time, you just lose it out, So
we have like one song that we use for one of these segment videos that always flags. It doesn't, excuse me. And this might be interesting to people that are listening too. It doesn't not allow us for the video to be shown. It just says like it flags it for a second, like, is this and why? And then we just have to I have to go in and tell it like, oh, this video is from Storyblocks, blah, blah, blah. And then usually within an hour or so, it's like.
So basically what I would have to do is, and I always do this anyway, like for anybody that's on YouTube and you're using content, this is just a little pro tip. And YouTube will actually tell you this, but a lot of people ignore it. When you post your video, post it as unlisted, but don't release it for like 6 hours. And by that time, the algorithm, everything's had a chance to go through to make sure it's clear, and then you're good. Because I know a lot of people just post and they put the video up and they just put it out there. That's like the worst thing to do.
Yeah, that's what sucks is because we do that because we edit last minute and we're usually scrambling to get it up. But usually we don't really have any problems. It is just the one song that's flagged, and it's been very simple to get it.
And that's the thing. So I was actually using Restream for the longest time. That was the first interview program that I was using, and then I moved over to StreamYards, and now I'm using Melon.
What is it?
Melon. Melon is made by not OBS. What's the other company?
Streamlabs.
Streamlabs. So yeah, Melon makes Streamlabs, and they just keep getting better. A lot of stuff in there. But Restream was actually my favorite because of at that point its ability to stream out, to create pre-recorded things that you could just pop on there. Like that was really really cool. Melon does that now, but it didn't do it before. But I remember specifically when they brought out their countdown songs. It's like cool, pop that on there, and it was like it was a big interview, had a whole bunch of views, and it was like bam, flagged because of this intro song, and I'm just like, oh, I'm over this. I'm over this. So then I just stopped using it altogether. Now I'm only using Epidemic stuff.
Yeah.
And people out there on YouTube, don't buy the free video music. It doesn't work. It'll work for like a couple of months, and then all of a sudden you'll go back and realize that you've been flagged, and whoever made that song is now collecting all of your revenue.
Oh man.
Yeah, I learned that. My one of my biggest videos was my beats solo video, and this was actually my fault. I just used the instrumental of Black Moon's Who Got the Props, and didn't realize that it got flagged. And I mean that thing has like 300,000 views. It's like stupid. But I never re-edited it because I was like, oh no, you know what? This is a learning experience for myself to know not to do that ever again. So
Right.
let it go.
Well, you have a regular Tech Tuesday. If you guys aren't following him, it's
Thursday.
Thursday.
Tech Thursday.
Thursday.
Tech Thursday. I'm sorry. I don't know why that's always like ingrained in my head. So Tech's Thursday. Tell us, you have to have some new tech for us, or what you talk about on the show. You can infuse the two.
So yeah, Tech Thursday is a what would I call that? It is a combination of a help stream. If anybody has any questions about gear or whatever, I try to answer to the best of my ability just based upon the stuff. The only problem is a lot of people are I don't know why, but they think I've used like every product known to man, which I haven't. You know, like, what do you think about this $200 speaker? I'm like, I don't know. I wouldn't use a $200 speaker, so I can't really answer that. You know, so, but it's also, you know, we try to get into the stuff, and I just talk about everything that's going on and any gear that's coming up or any gear that's popped up that I want to talk about. And then I bring on people if it's tech related, but it's the only show that I do that I know that I have time for that doesn't require me to bring in people, because that's the hardest part with doing any of these interview type shows. Because I'm bringing it back, but that used to be was an interview show and my Tech Thursday. But the problem was sometimes people weren't available. Sometimes, you know, people just, you know, said no. And now I'm like, okay, I got 2 weeks of shows with no interviews. What am I supposed to do here? And then I would cancel the shows. I'm like, eh. So Tech Thursday is the one I know it's just me. So I can talk for 2 hours and have nobody on the stream and I'll be fine.
Are you getting hit up by a lot of companies that are wanting to push their shit?
I get hit up nonstop. And a lot of things I choose to ignore. And you know, so basically if anybody's out there and they're like, well, how do we get into Cleveland Terry's thing? It's got to be something that I would use. If I wouldn't use it, I'm not going to take your product, you know? So like, for instance, I gotta review this guy right here, and you probably can't see it. Anyway, this is the YOLO box, and basically it's a streaming box. It can connect to your Ethernet. It can also connect to your 5G cell phone, and you can take that anywhere you want and stream and do, you know, multi-stream like we're doing right now, right from this box.
Really?
Anywhere. Yes. So
wait. So it's like a Verizon, you know, box.
well, there's no. Well, you can actually put a what do you call it? A cell card into the box itself.
Okay. Yeah.
But if you choose not to, you can just stream right from your cell phone. You know, and so
Wow.
this is the bigger one. They have a smaller one that they're coming out with, which basically fits like in your hot shoe mount on your camera. So it's like this big. So it basically looks like a little light panel. and then you can stream, and it's pretty impressive. And so for people that don't have computers and maybe don't have like an ATEM or something like that, because it's one giant touch screen, so it looks like what you're seeing on here. So you
Very
can bring
cool.
in, yeah. So it's a very cool device, and I'm like, I'll take that kind of stuff. DJ gear, obviously, I'll take to review and everything like that. But like, I get stuff all the time. I just got somebody today. Hey, we have a nice keyboard. I'm like, I don't want your keyboard. Like, I don't really care about your computer keyboard. Or people are like, oh, we have these LED strips for. I'm like, nope, nope, nope. It's got to be like stuff that I would actually use on an event, and
So
that's my key.
I know you use the Rode mic. I see that on your
Yes.
videos all the time, and I just bought the DJI mics.
I like those. I like those a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are really good. Yeah, I have a combination of I have the Rode Mic Goes, the original ones, not the newer ones. I have the what are they called? I should know because I'm literally using it all the time now. Oh, it's the Comica, the Comica booms, and they're basically the same situation. They're just like those. There's three of them, a one receiver and two transmitters, which I will take with me to NAM.
Yeah.
And but I like them a lot.
So,
Nothing sounds as good. This mic is going through the Mixcast 4, and
yeah.
this is like my favorite connection right now. It's a great device.
If I were to throw a video idea your way, you can shoot it down if you want.
Let me
I'm
hear it.
ready. Mixcast 4 down right now. Um, I DJ weddings. I have a bunch of wedding guys that actually use the Rode 2 as
Mhm.
lavalier mics for
Yes.
officiants.
Mhm.
A battle of that between the DJI for officiants. Just throwing it out there.
So actually, who made one? Potato Jet, who's a camera guy. Great videos.
I want a DJ version, but
Oh,
yes,
okay. Yeah.
I've seen a bunch of them. But I think a Cleveland Terry version of that, I think would get some views. Just throwing it out there.
It's so funny. I have so many videos I need to make, like so many. And like right now, somebody just DM me. It's like, can you make a video about standalone gear versus like Serato based or computer based? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, and I always think, and I'm like, but it's been done before, and I don't do a lot of videos when I see them, when I see other people do the videos, because I feel like I don't know. Am I copying them? You know what I mean? It's like this weird thing, but some people want to know what my take is. So I
That's
guess I could.
totally where I'm at with it. Is a
Mhm.
lot of tech people that I watch. Um, it doesn't matter if there's 15,000 reviews.
You're still gonna watch
Uh,
all of them.
like for instance, Marquise, right?
Yes.
If he throws something out, dude, all the other ones are scrapped. I'm just gonna watch Marquise's, right? So you
Yeah.
just become that guy, and I think we are gonna watch your review if you put something out like that because it is DJ related versus the potato head guy. It's for cameras, right? So he's
Yes.
judging it as a shoe mount or whatever. So it's a totally different take if you
No, you're
have
right.
like the lav with it.
I have to get away from my own judgment. I'm very judgmental of myself. And the one thing I don't want to ever feel like I'm copying people, because a lot of things that like digital DJ tips is a perfect example. Like them a lot. Respect them, completely. And actually, maybe at NAM this time we'll actually have a word. I always make a joke about Phil because Phil he didn't know that he kind of brushed me off, but he did. Yeah, and it was at NAM, and this was
Yeah,
before, well before we actually even kind of even talked at all. And I was like, "Hey, man, yeah, I do what you do. Like, I'm a YouTuber." And he's like, "Great," and he like just turned around and like walked away. I was like, "Oh," but I know he didn't mean anything by it, And Phil's a
right.
little quirky anyway. But I know he didn't mean so. But for like the longest time, anytime I would just like throw little subtle jabs at him. Like when I finally went into the in music thing, and he was in there too, and the in music, and I put a little thing on the video, like, see, and but it's like I just I don't I don't want to do something too quickly after somebody else has done it, So maybe I just need to kind of put it on the back burner and then
Well,
come back to it.
the DJ community is a very it's a small community, so
Yes.
I understand what you're saying right there. I just think there is a little bit of a difference.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree. I agree. I got to get out of my own head. You know,
Yeah.
trust me, it's me in my own head. And I know this is about me. Everybody's got their weaknesses. Mine is that I have an unnecessarily high threshold that I know that I don't actually need. Because sometimes, because I've seen some of these videos out there. You were just talking about, you see the good ones and the bad ones. I've seen them too. I tend to not watch the bad ones, or I should say, I tend to not watch the bad ones very long because I'm just like, oh God, I can't with this guy. And it's nothing personal. It's just like you gotta start somewhere,
Your
right?
production's great and you keep it on point. So I do like that about it. And yeah, just encouraging you, just
Yeah.
throwing out ideas. I think you're doing a great job for the
Thank you.
community.
Thank you very much.
Tech wise, anything else you wanna talk
Well,
about?
I mean, obviously, I'm stuck with NDAs, so there's only so much that I can talk about.
Right.
But no, I mean, right now I'm currently reviewing the JMAS Flex VersaFlex, which I think is actually, for mobile DJs, it's a very, very good light fixture. Um, and because it can be, because a lot of people use the gig bars. I did a video about the gig bar move, and a lot of people were like, first off, for whatever reason, a lot of people, so DJs in particular, are very judgmental when you do reviews. Like, they either assume that somebody's paying you for some sort of positive review, or they get super butthurt if you say anything negative about something that they own. You know, and so the gig bar move was one of those kind of polarizing things where I'm like, look, the bag sucks, and mine is already breaking, and all of these little things. And I said, but but it's fine for a small event. I wouldn't use it for like a super huge event. It's just not bright enough. And I got so much, like, so much just unnecessary hate. You know, my whole thing is, for anybody that ever says, well, I've used something for X amount of time and my bag is fine. Like, okay, you're one person. Like, that doesn't, if 50 other people say you're right about the bag, then you're the anomaly, not the other way around.
Well, that's like headphones I own. I just burned through a pair of headphones a year. And I mean, at one point I was gigging 5 days a week. They're
Exactly.
going in my bag. They're
Uh-huh.
just getting
Yeah.
it's getting
You're
abused.
you're not putting them perfectly back in your case. And you're like,
Well,
sometimes you're tired. Just throw them in the
or
bag and leave.
or I'm gigging 5 days a week and you're gigging once a
Yes.
weekend. That doesn't
Yeah.
it's totally a
Oh,
different
my Beat Solo review, that was the number one kind of slap back at me, was like, you just don't know how to take care of your headphones. I'm like, no, I use the gear that I have, I use, and
Yeah.
that's why, like, these V motors right here, I bought these after I bought the Beats. And the Beats I didn't even use for DJing. I really only use them because I like something to walk around with. They last 40 hours. It was easy. But I got these, and I also, the Pioneer HDJs, these guys right here, which were great also. But these I used every day, like at least 3 to 4 times a week for, well, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, right? Before I started to go back to my in-ears, and they still work perfectly. This is the kind of stuff that I want to see. So when I buy something and I spend good money, the review that I'm going to tell you about is based upon the fact of, unless it's like a brand new product, because, like, for instance, the Rev 7 is a perfect example. Like I said, the Rev 7 is probably the best piece of gear that's come out in a long, long time. And I meant it. And I still mean it. I got one sitting right there. Absolutely love the Rev 7 over any other product that I have used.
When does
But
the official Cleveland Terry slip mat for the Rev 7 come out?
I know I got to make one. I totally got to
Dude,
make one.
you know how many people have asked me about it? I go, well, I saw Cleveland made his own. And so, if I could just direct him right to you, that would
I know.
be
No,
great.
you're right. I know Serato has one, and the DJ Plug has one. And both of them are like a compressed fiber. It's almost paper like. And the one I made was like actual slip mat. And I
Dude, put it
still
out. Hurry
Yeah,
up.
I know. I know. I got to find somebody that I can. I just need to get a little hole punch.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people, some people got it and they had issues with it, with the Rev 7. Oh, this is not working. This is not working. And then they were like, see, this is why you can't trust reviewers. Like, no, we have a product. And if our product failed, like your product is failing, we would have said something. Or the first thing I would have done is I would have called my guy back at Pioneer and be like, hey man, like this has actually happened before. A couple of times I got a product. I'm like, hey, this is doing this. Is it supposed to be doing this? Because I think I got whatever. And they either tell me yes, no, whatever, and then we go from there. But like I don't have I can't give you a longevity review for a brand new product. The best product that came out that I was able to do a secondary review was with two things. The Denon Prime Go came out during COVID, and so did the Rain One. So I was finally, when we got out of COVID, I was able to take both of these products out and actually use them. So I did a follow-up video on them. And but I couldn't do one on something that's that brand new. I can only tell you my first impressions, but I still use the Rev 7 every weekend. And if I could take it, I gotta go to Arizona this weekend. If I could take it with me, I would, but I'm gonna end up probably taking I think I'm gonna end up taking my Denon Prime Go. I think
Really?
I don't necessarily want to, but I also so my
You
options
flying
are
or you
this.
driving?
I'm flying. That's the
Oh,
problem.
okay.
So my options are either I still have my 1000, so I can put my 1000 in a flight case and
Yeah.
take that heavy ass thing with the wheels and check it in and go from there. That's the one option. That's probably the best visual option. If I
You could
go
put
to
it
a
in a
spot.
soft case and be one of those people with a guitar, where you roll up and they put it in the what do you call it? The
Overhead.
So it can't go in the overhead. It's too big for that. So
no,
that
it's
was
the waitress. I can't even think of the name right now.
the stewardess.
The stewardess. They put it in their closet.
Oh yes, I've seen that closet. It's just a big
Yeah.
ass open box.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you show up with it and you have that and you talk to them, you got to talk to them first, but they'll do it.
Okay. So if that's the case, then I can take my Rev 7.
I mean, I don't know weight wise or if there's any issues with it. That's why I like the 1000.
Yeah, you're right. I can put the 1000 in the soft case and just take that. You're right.
Yeah, the hard case, I would say that's a no, but the soft case with the 1000 is basically a guitar.
Right. Yeah. Good call. Good call. Because I've literally been struggling with what I'm going to bring. So,
Yeah.
and what I'll do is I'll probably put both options in the truck, and then when I get there, if they're like, "Oh no, we can't," then I can, maybe go back.
Just call
We'll
ahead.
see.
Who's your who are you flying on?
I have no idea. I gotta. I mean, I know,
If
but I
it's
don't know.
Frontier or Spirit, then I would say
It's
yeah, you
definitely
might
not
as well.
Spirit. No, it is. Let's see. I'm flying in the morning. It is LAX, and
Well, regardless, we want to hit a couple more things before you
yeah,
gotta go.
that's fine.
But,
That's fine.
so what do we got?
Oh, it's American Airlines.
You should be all right.
Yeah.
You should be all right. So we hit tech. We would like to talk either Serato top five songs you're playing in Serato, or just new music that you're feeling for bar mitzvahs or the club.
So let's see here. So musically, okay.
Well, we're gonna play our video. Just pick
please,
which
go
one
ahead.
you
Yeah.
want, and we'll play the video.
We can do music, and we can talk about the
New
top
music?
5. Yeah, let's do that. That's fine.
All right, here we go. We'll play this video.
Music play, let the music play, let the music play. No.
Wait, was that you too, Drew?
That was not me. I wish
See,
that was me.
I can see why every so often is that from Storyblocks.
That one has not gotten flagged, and no, that was not from Storyblock.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, that one is specifically at, we're not at the Cleveland Terry level, right? So I can push the boundaries on what gets flagged, and,
Gotcha.
and it's all right now. So
Gotcha.
I'm just saying
Gotcha.
where we're at.
Okay, perfect.
New
All
music
right.
you're feeling. What's the new shit that you're playing? You playing Super Gremlin? You playing Gunna? You playing what are you playing for these bar mitzvahs? What's the new music that people are feeling and you're getting the most requests for?
I'm going to tell you something that a lot of people probably aren't taking the time to do. TikTok is humongous right now. So if you are doing any type of like bar mitzvahs are a perfect example. I have made a focused effort to literally play all the TikTok music from TikTok viral from Spotify and Apple Music and be able to find the songs that I know they like. This has been working for me a lot. So the songs, not necessarily for dance, but like it's about creating the whole vibe for the night. So it could be
Yep.
dinner time or cocktail. I will play all those songs that like the kids love. Like one of the songs right now that's humongous for kids that everybody should be playing is Willow. That's Will Smith's daughter.
Yep.
Wait a minute. That is a huge, huge song. And the funny thing about it is it's like 4 years old. But
Okay.
because of TikTok, it's like in Reels, it's popped up again. And every time, like I have a thing right now that I play during dinner time, and the kids don't stop singing the entire time they're eating. And
Wow.
that's the key, because by the time we're ready to go back to playing the music they really want to hear, they're amped. They're ready to go because they've been kind of bobbing their head and moving, the entire time. So that is my secret. And I know it's tough because most people, I think, since there's a lot of DJs that are on TikTok, and or they don't even look at TikTok or even Reels. You don't have to necessarily be on TikTok, but you have to be looking at Reels and listening to the music that is being used in these Reels, and then also looking at the number counts for how many times a particular song was used in a Reel. Those are the ones you should be playing on your parties. But like,
Question-
yes,
Question about music that you're playing during dinner at these bar
Mhm.
mitzvahs. Are you playing? Obviously, you hit the kids and you're hitting your genre, but are the parents that are sitting down like requesting stuff that you're trying to like get in real quick, or you're walking that line of back and forth?
it's back and forth. And that's the way I DJ also. So basically, we have imagine you got 3 major dance sets and then like a major kid set. And those 3 dance sets are for everybody. So that one you're going back and forth between kids music and adult music. But because of Spotify and TikTok, a lot of that music is universal, like things
Right.
like, Tricky made a comeback and
Dancing
like
Queen.
Dancing Queen is huge. Owl City. What is that Owl City song?
The Fireflies.
Firefly.
Not even Fireflies. Good time. Good time.
Good time. Yeah.
Really?
That's a
Really?
huge one again. Yeah. And so it's like, and the biggest song, the one we get the most impact off of is Kesha Timber.
Dude, that was the biggest song of I just said a prom. Biggest song
Yeah.
of the night by
Uh-huh.
far. By
Uh-huh.
far.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah. So you have to. I would almost say it's like if you haven't updated in like 4 or 5 years, you might be in a good place.
Totally.
But if you're playing for the kids, yeah. I mean, like I have a playlist just called Hype Shit, and that's when it's
throw a couple at us. What's hype shit?
Oh, well, you got the classics. You got your Mo Bambas. You got your Look at Me's. Those are the jump around songs. You got Industry Baby. Astronaut in the Ocean is still big. Lip Gloss still works really, really well. Sicko Mode made a huge comeback. So Sicko Mode is working. Love Sosa came back.
Wow.
Don't know why. And I only play the chorus and then I'm out because the song sucks. But like the chorus, they jump their asses around all the time.
And Mo Bamba at I think when I do a prom, they say it's okay if the kids cuss as long as you're playing the clean version. So how does that work at the bar mitzvah?
Same thing. I tell people all the time, like, we don't play dirty versions. Your kids might sing dirty versions, but we don't play them. And
Right.
I don't play Mo Bamba. I have a cue point at the F shit bitch part.
Yeah.
I got a cue point where I go to there after I felt like it's been enough, and I just hit it and let them curse all the time. Songs that are making comebacks. Goosebumps, huge comeback.
Wow.
Rolex is huge.
Oh, never left for me.
Yeah. And I brought back I Spy.
Oh yeah,
no.
so works.
Yeah.
I do broccoli.
Broccoli's
is
good
that
too.
same thing. And
Yep.
Caroline.
I've been
haven't
getting
played
requests
Carolina
for
in a
that
while,
lately.
but
It's
yeah,
weird
Carolina's
though.
great. Yeah.
It's like that beginning part they're hyped for, and then they kind of like die
Yes.
off.
Yeah.
I gotta send you. I just bumped it up to 70, so it works. I did a short
Better.
edit of it. Yeah, I gotta
Oh
send
yeah,
it to you.
I've always spent. Yeah, I don't do anything under 70 anymore.
Yeah, it's too
And
slow.
that's also because a lot of the music is now at around 80 beats per minute.
Right.
So everything's got to be at 75 and up.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. I'm getting a lot of good reactions from About Damn Time. That's like probably the newest song.
Yep. That
That
new
one works
Lizzo,
really, really well.
because that
Yeah.
rap, everyone loves that rap.
And yeah,
Been a
in a
minute.
minute, yeah. And it's funny because like my wife, because I'm usually a one verse kind of guy, one verse hook and I'm out. But like it might have been like 2 weeks ago. She kept singing that part
Yeah.
over and over again for like 2 days. And
Yeah.
then I finally looked at her like, I guess I'm gonna have to play the second verse.
Yeah, I re-edited it. I took out the first verse and I just put that come in. It's a chorus into that and then a chorus out.
You don't do Bad Bitch O'Clock?
Yeah, but no one cares. They care more about the rap. The Bad Bitch O'Clock's tight, but I mean, the rest of it falls flat, and then it takes too long to get to the rap.
Yeah, I think if you start with the chorus and then go into the end of minute, I think that works well.
Yeah.
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 So okay, there you go. First Class works, but I don't know.
We say the same thing. We keep saying the same thing. It's like they're so hyped when it comes on, and
yeah.
at this point, we might as well just play Glamorous because they're only hyped for that Glamorous.
Yes,
I don't even know if I want to play First Class anymore at all.
And I'd rather play Fantasy over Lotto.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because they love that song. So there's the good thing is right now there's a lot of good. And what's the one that's around 100 beats per minute that I always forget to play? It's a hip hop track. What is that song? Way Too Sexy to Me is dead. You can play just like the hook and then you got to get out of it.
Yeah, that's fine.
What is it? I can't remember right now. I'll think about it and come back. But then there's songs like I was really angry that like they didn't blow up. Like when I heard Scared Money, I was like, this shit bangs. But nobody's listened to that song. Maybe you can drop it at a club, but not for kids.
Well, it's funny that you say astronaut in the ocean because I did that prom and they looked at me like I was crazy. But
sometimes that happens. And that's the funny thing about that particular song. And like because I just drop it right on the what you know about it, and you can see right there if people are screaming. And even then, that song and what's the other one? It's What's Poppin'. So that song. So I play What's Poppin', they do the hook, the song's going through. After like 3 or 4 bars, right back to the chorus. And then I'm mixing out from there because they don't want the whole thing, so that's what I'm saying. You got to slam through.
Curious. Okay. So with doing bar mitzvahs, you're an LA guy. You're saying run it back. How often are they running it back? You get your MC out there. It's not working. Like run it back. The kids want to hear it again. It's popping off.
How often do I do it? Pretty much none. It just it's not my thing. I know if a DJ is like, oh, play it back, fine. But an MC, but like, yeah, not really my thing. I just kind of keep going. I mean, people ask me for play the song again. Nope. I'll play a variation. I'll play something similar, but I'm not playing that song again. Unless the party is pure shit, and for whatever reason you can never find their pulse. Then yeah, you might have to play the song again. Or if it's a super long day, you can bring back music that you played early on. The thing about most parties is, most parties are, 4 hours long, 4 hours long in a cocktail. So if you're telling me you don't have enough music, I don't get it. I don't get it. And again, I am a lead by example kind of guy. So like all the things that I do is, and I tell people I actually do them myself. And
Yeah.
because if I find something that works, I'm like, hey, especially for my other DJs, because like it's a company and I want all my DJs to be as good as what I think the party should be. And so hopefully they listen, but DJs are DJs. Some DJs listen, other DJs are like, like I got DJs right now that are like, you have they send the questionnaires out a month, 2 months for the general data, 1 month for music requests. So they have a
Are you
whole month.
using like Spotify for them to be able to like send you a request, or is this like
Yeah.
DJ EP or
No,
like
no, it's
any of that?
Spotify. Yeah, I am not on DJ EP. I keep saying I'm going to check it out, but I'm not on there. I'm on a different platform. But yeah, I just say send us your Spotify or your Apple Music playlist, and then we'll
Right.
send it to the DJ.
For the
And
kids, they don't want to upload it. That's the easiest.
Exactly. So, but my biggest frustration right now with my DJs in general, not all of them, is that like when if I'm getting text messages the day of, hey, do you have a version of this song? I'm just pissed. The rest of the day, I'm so angry, because like, dude, you've had this forever, and your job is to DJ. So it's your job to get to have this music. If I'm feeding you all the music, then you're not really a DJ.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'll see if it's a weird one-off, like it's our first dance song and blah blah blah. Fine, here you go, DJ. But if it's just like regular pop music and like normal stuff, and you don't have it, I got problems.
Well, I think this is a great segue into our 60-second rant. So let's hit it with that, Fuse.
All right.
Shout, let it all out.
See, story blocks, baby.
Okay, it's winning for me. Yeah.
That was me singing, though. You can't get that exclusive. You can't get that exclusive on.
You might want to think about uploading that to Story Blocks.
All right, 60-second rant. You need a second? What are you thinking?
I'm not thinking anything. I mean, I rant all the time.
Wait. Fuse is gonna put some time on the clock.
I got 60 seconds.
I need a topic though. I need a topic to rant on.
All right, topic. Throw a couple at them. We want clients not spending enough money. We want TikTokers. We want YouTube sucking. Where are we at? How about the supply chain shortage? How about people not sending you their gear early enough to review?
That's a whole different thing.
How about you don't know who the fuck I am?
No. So okay. All right. I think I have
wait,
one.
are you ready? Wait, we got it.
All right, we got it.
All right.
Here we go.
Let's talk about DJs and their need to always have what they feel is the best gear. I'm on Facebook. I'm on, all of the pioneer groups, the in music groups. And the one thing that I undoubtedly see all the time is people that feel that their product is superior over the next, and they will beat people down just because they have a difference of opinion. Now, because I'm on YouTube, I get all those opinions up front, but I have thick skin. I don't think it's fair to berate some brand new DJ because they got a piece of gear that you don't agree with. And don't even get me started on the way that people talk on these Facebook sites. Somebody will get on there and ask a simple question like, hey, how do I get my my Serato sync to kick in? And all you get, read the fucking manual. What is wrong with you? And people like, I just asked the question, like, how hard is it to answer this one question? It's right here. So I want people to start being better people when they're on these Facebook groups. If you're on the Facebook groups, you're there to help. So help people. Stop acting superior to them. I get it myself. People don't know who Terry Bowens is because that's my middle name. And I get on there and I'll say something and somebody will snap on me. And then they will realize who I am. And then the next post will be, oh, hey, man, I love your stuff. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, so when I was nobody, you had a problem. But as soon as you know who I am, now everything's fine. So stop it. There you go.
I love it.
Yeah. I changed
totally
my
agree.
name on Facebook. It's just my first name and then some of my last name. And now
Mhm.
sometimes I'll comment on stuff and people have no idea. It's kind of funny, like watching it happen.
Yes, yes, I all the time, and it just makes me laugh because I'm like, people are just like, they're just they're just mean. They're just normally mean until they feel like somebody's actually watching them or somebody has any type of influence. And I don't know. It's frustrating. It's sad. It's sad in reality.
DJs
Yeah.
are an interesting breed. It's true.
I have
Very
a
interesting.
full-on video coming. That's when I have a chance because it's going to take me like a month. But my whole video is, why do DJs hate other DJs?
They
And
yeah, they do.
They hate
why are
fun.
we so jealous of each other? There's enough work for everybody. Like, come on, guys, just enjoy.
I agree.
Like, how many times have you been DJing at a spot? Fuse. Did you been DJing at a spot and people are like, either talking trash or they will do whatever they can to try to take your spot, your night. Does that happen in Cincinnati?
Uh yeah, yeah. I think it's one of those things where like for me, I don't want to say I kind of have it pretty good.
Okay.
I'm pretty fortunate to have the spots that I play at right now. But I see it a lot with other guys and
Mhm.
stuff too. And I'm kind of in some ways my opinion of it has changed a little bit to where it's like, well, if you can do better, then come 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 do it,
Yeah.
like show me how it's done, like but and I'm not saying like I'm gonna be the best like technical scratching DJ because that's not really my style, but like keeping the energy up, keeping the party going. Like I don't I think there's only a few guys here that match that
Mhm.
level. And and it's like if you can do it, show me, and then like there's no
And you know that pretty fast, right? There's
Yeah.
it's like, oh, no, never heard of you. Well, no, I'm doing this and this. You're like, I mean, I'm just, I, I might have heard of you if you were that guy or that
Right.
girl, for
Yeah.
instance.
Yeah. And,
I might
and,
even
and I,
had an inkling, or a little birdie might have chirped in my ear that's you were that
yeah.
guy or girl. But
Yeah. And
everybody everybody wants to hold on to like the little piece of the pie that they have
yes.
so much that they're
Mhm.
afraid of like doing anything out of that. And it's for me, it's always like, and like with doing this podcast and like you doing your videos, it's like we're not trying to hold on to our slice of the pie. We're trying to grow the pie bigger,
Exactly.
so there's more pie to be had, and I think it's just a complete different mindset. And I think it's almost like you have to be experienced more in life to even understand that too, like to where
That I agree with that. There takes a certain level of maturity in order to like truly see the big picture. And like there was this running kind of joke that all the tech YouTubers like hated each other, you know, I didn't like Bar and it was all these things. And like, we're good friends. And then like, so I'm doing like more collabs with like, like PJ and all of these things. And people are like, oh, well, I see you guys are like, no, this is the way it should be. And like even when I'm like trying to grow and get new relationships with new things, like my guy DJ Kova from Tweak Music Tips, we talk all the time. And he's like, this is all we're in order to be respected in the field that you're trying to create, you gotta have growth. You gotta have you gotta give people a reason to even try to invest in you because DJs are like the lowest of the totem pole. If you're a camera guy, people will throw money at you left and right. Or if you're an iPhone guy, but DJs, it's like, well, you have to give them reason to do these things. And the bigger the segment is across the board, the more you're going to get people looking at the segment, and then you're in the segment. So it just drives me nuts when I see that because I'm all about collaborations. I tell people all the time, like, hey, let's do a collab. Let's do a collab video. Let's do this. Let's do that. You do one, I do one. We'll put them together. We'll share them on each one. Like everybody grows. And it's, you don't need to worry about losing your viewers because showed them somebody else. You know
Well,
what I
that's
mean?
what I
Like,
was saying with you earlier. I want to watch the Cleveland Terry video. If I want to see like a review, I want to see you do it because I get that little bit more insight. I don't want you to think that someone else did it, and now I'm like, oh well, fuck, Cleveland put it out. I'm not
right.
watching that. It's
But
like, no, I need to see what Cleveland has to say too, because like I might want your opinion because you do bar mitzvahs, right? So I'm that, or you do mobiles, or you would do whatever. So like that controller for me, your review on that controller is going to give me that insight on whatever that
Mhm.
piece is. It's just
Right.
different applications. Like I need all of the angles.
And we
And
take
And
that same approach with even DMS and Warren and Kevin. When people talk to us, they're like, well, sell us why we should only use DMS. It's like, well, you shouldn't only use DMS.
yeah.
Like, DMS should be one of the 3 that you use, but
hmm
you shouldn't only use us. There are so many, we're a great record pool. And I firmly believe that, not just because I work for them. It's one of my main pools.
I will tell you this, and I don't mean to stop you, but like I finally started. So I got my DMS subscription or membership like during COVID, and I opened it up, and at that time there was a lot of like it was like HTML. There's a lot of HTML text everywhere. It was like you know Excel spreadsheet. It felt like almost, in the beginning.
okay,
You
yeah.
guys you guys have updated it. And I went in last when I was starting to mess with crate hackers, and it was like, oh, these are the record pools that we are connected with, and DMS was one. I'm like, oh, let me just see what they have. And then I went on there, and I was utterly surprised by like how much you guys have like kind of advanced in the quality of your upfront pages, your best of
Well,
lists, and their
it's actually funny that you say that because we haven't updated the site since 2014. So
well, then I don't
it's
know
the
what I was
same
seeing
exact
before.
site. It's the same
Maybe
exact site.
Well, maybe
Nothing's
it's because
changed.
I was going to maybe probably the first time it was a search, and the second time it was let me just see what they're offering as far as like, their aggregate best of. And
Yeah.
I think the most important part is your best of is actually accurate. Like when I went into like, oh, let me
Fair enough.
check their top EDM, let me check their this. I'm like, this stuff is actually like legitimately correct. And that was probably the first time I was like, okay, this is a very good record pool. I like DJ City too. And obviously Beat Source, because I think by the time this is all said and done, it's all going to be Beat Source. But neither here nor there. But I do like them. But I was very, very impressed. Not a lot of people are giving the best of, because it kind of reminded me of like the Crate Hackers, because I was just in Crate Hackers and I went there and I was like, oh look, perfect. And then I didn't even really need to use Crate Hackers because you had the list right there. So I just kind of
Right.
pulled the music down. Because I'm
I
not.
actually have a question for you.
Yeah.
This is we again we I like Beat Source, DJ City. I use all the sites, right? This isn't like a knock on anybody.
Sure.
But how much are you using Beat Source? Because I paid for it. I wanted to use it. And I even talked to some of the people on the site. And the fact that I do mobile events and none of it's
I know where
labeled
you're I know
clean
where you're going.
is it's useless to me because I paid for it and I did a private event and I used one of the pre-made playlists for it was like a silent disco we were doing. There
Mhm.
was like multiple channels. So one was on an autoplay, right?
Oh,
And
uh-huh.
and I clicked over the channel and it was Lizzo came on and it said uh, multiple choice words and I was like,
Yeah.
this is not good. And
So
I canceled it right that day because I'll never use it again if I can't see if it's clean or dirty.
that was my biggest issue with them. And I talked to Asher like right after. I'm like, dude, I can't. You guys, if you're selling this to people that are literally DJing mobile events, because that's kind of where you're going with this. You want this to be universal,
Who
not
else
just
is
like
going to
club
use
DJs.
it? You're going to use it for requests. Why?
Yes,
Who else
exactly.
is using it if you can't? I
Right.
mean, I'm not putting them down. I'm just saying, like, even when their own people don't update it or know that it's a fault, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know?
But they have gotten better though with their cleans. The only problem now that I have is they keep they double up on their playlist. So they have a clean version and a dirty version in the playlist. So you can kind of choose which one. But if you were playing like an autoplay, yeah, you would fail. It's getting better. My whole issue with Beat Source is a very simple one. And I have found that sometimes when I search for music, it's just not there. And it now open up title and it will be there 100% of the time. And so, and especially if I'm using like soundies to be able to like take a playlist and then move it over to another one. So
Yeah.
I've been doing that a lot lately. That's like my super secret. If a
I use
client
tune my playlist or whatever
yeah,
it's
so
called.
same thing. And Beat Source and Title are both in there as an option, and I will do both because at least with Beat Source, I can download the songs onto my offline locker. But as I was doing that, I noticed that at the end of when it finally pulls everything in, it gives you a little error message and it says, this many songs wasn't available. And it could be anything, TikTok remix or whatever. Title, let's say I'm doing 100 songs. Title might come back with like one or two that it didn't have. Beat Source would come back with like, 12 to 15. And I'm like, see, that's a little bit of an issue because this means you can't just use Beat Source as your primary pool. So I keep both of them. I have Title and Beat Source.
But you can't flip in between the two, right?
No, not on Serato.
Yeah.
It's the only, if you were using anything else, it'd be fine. But Serato, it's one or the other. Yeah, it sucks. But yeah, so I use Beat Source, but my default when I need to play a song immediately and I need to make sure there's a clean version is Title. Guaranteed. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. And hey,
I want it to work. I'm more pissed off that it doesn't work.
I always
really
say
my problem.
give them some time. I know they've had time, but like, they're basically creating a site from scratch. They basically creating their own title from scratch. So I give them a little credit for that. But yeah, I wish there was a way, and I mean, I could make it my own. I wish there was a way to take a playlist that's say nothing but dirty because kids listen to dirty ass shit. And then when you pull it in, it only pulls the clean versions. That would be fantastic. So we'll see.
Well, I do like them a lot. I want them to succeed. I have no ill will about it, actually, at all. Zero.
It's better for all of us if they do succeed.
Dude, it's huge if the way they all succeed. I guess I was more just saying, as real DJs, I play only custom edits, so I don't know how many, how I'm able to really see that as the future. So I don't know. I think that's a long future.
There is definitely a future for it. Say for instance, I mean, if you're using like Algorithm DJ, and you have an iPad, if I can just make a custom DJ crates, and then I have that on there as almost as a backup. So if something were to go wrong, I can just pull that up and I still have all of my music. So that's an option. And I think it's great for new DJs. New DJs that don't know what music works.
I agree.
Yeah,
no, I agree. I want it to work. Fix the clean.
Yeah, but I think it's the same thing as Crate Hackers, though. I think Crate Hackers is great. I think if you are an established DJ that already has your methods, you're not necessarily going to get as much out of it as if you were a new DJ trying to figure out what works. Like for me, it's more of a validation than anything else. Like I'll go on the list and go, oh yeah, okay, maybe a song or two. I'm like, oh, I don't have these songs in my crate. I got them in my catalog. I just don't have them in my crate. Let me just drag them over. But like, I can't personally do crates the way they do crates. It would drive me crazy. So, everybody's got their way. That's why I tell people, I'm like, look, not one way is the right way. You got to do what works for you. And,
you got to actually try.
I know. Well, it's just like, and it's like, I guess a guitar would be a perfect example. If you take somebody's guitar and you try to play on it, you just don't play as well as if it's your guitar, even though it's the same strings and same dimensions and everything. The same thing, like the way I set up my music that I know works for me. My partner who was on a party and I went to eat or whatever. And they wanted to go back to music. He's a DJ, right? And then one of the dancers comes back and is like, he needs you. I'm like, what do you mean he needs me? So I go in, I'm like, what, dude? He's like, oh, we're starting again. I'm like, you couldn't play 2 songs? He's like, I don't even know how to read your stuff. I don't know what this is. And so some people are like that, and you just gotta. Well, I'm like, you can't even just search off your head. Like, I know I Love It works. why don't you play I Love It? Why don't you play this? You can pull a couple of songs out of your ass real quick, but you know,
Right.
And that goes back to kind of circle back around what we were talking about with using multiple record pools and all that. It's like the most important part about DJing still is the music. And if you're
Yes.
not willing to use multiple sources for the music, well, then maybe that's a conversation you need to have with yourself because, you have to. I mean, the music is the most important part. And, keeping several different options open of using different pools or subscription-based services, all of us, I know I have 3 or 4 record pools and a subscription base to Beat Source, and I'm
Mhm.
sure Drew does. I know you do too. So
Oh, I still have Beat Source. I just get sad because now I have to listen to it or go through a playlist to find the clean version. It's like, oh, it was listed in this playlist. So, I
And there was one, because basically if it says explicit, it's supposed to be explicit. If it doesn't say it, it's clean. There's been a couple where I was like, I'm literally texting them all in a party like, not clean.
or it says
Take it off
radio
now.
version.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or no,
And- and-
not radio version, album version. That was it. It said album version, and I was
Oh.
like, oh, the lousy album version got me.
yeah. I think I have 4 record pools. And they all do different things, like Headliner Music Club. I don't love them for their actual catalog, but their remixes, their Headliner Music Club specific remixes are very, very good. And they're smart because they keep them on. They're timed. After a certain time, they just pull them, and then you have to always stay on, or you won't see any of the new ones. But like I pull songs like that for me, and that's the difference. Like those are the songs I pull just for me if I'm DJing at a club or whatever, and I want to play just a cool offbeat track. But like I'm not using them for like radio stuff. Like they just don't have it.
Right.
Yeah. So
Well-
everybody's different.
Yeah, everyone should have your pull. And dude, I say with Spotify, I look at Spotify for top lists. I mean, I go on there and it's like, oh, what's people listening to? Because that's what the adults and the kids have,
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. Agreed.
We know you got to go. We'll try to wrap this up.
Real quick, I got the special voicemail from our YOLO line, which we haven't messaged, we haven't talked about real quick. But you can always leave us a voicemail on our YOLO line if you have any topics or anything that you want the show to talk about, or just anything. If you want to give us
Give
a
the
drunk
number.
dial, it's 562-246-YOLO. So we got the special message real quick. I'm going to play it. Here we go.
What's up? This is Digital Dave, and I have that "Damn You Were Working as a Waitress in a Cocktail Bar" song remix of "Don't You Want Me" stuck in my head now. Why? Why?
All right, there he was, Digital Dave himself, Mr. Worldwide, listening to the podcast and getting songs stuck in his head. Shout out to Digital Dave.
Shout out Digital Dave. Thanks for the message. Anything? Let's plug your shit.
Yeah.
Cleveland.
You can find me on YouTube under Cleveland Terry. You can find me on all socials on Cleveland Terry with an underscore at the end. And I'm primarily on obviously YouTube for all of my content. I spend a lot of time on IG, and now I'm starting to bleed more into TikTok. But those are my two. And obviously, you can get me on Twitter too. But who's on Twitter? So those are my kind. It's all about just kind of providing the right amount of information to help people make good purchasing decisions and or make good DJ decisions. And one of the things I will say about me is, look, I don't know everything, and I will tell everybody I don't know everything. A lot of people when I first came on, they thought I had an ego, and it's not an ego. I just am just very specific and about what I believe. And but I also learn, and I can tell you this, over the last couple of years, I've learned more since moving through COVID, Twitch, seeing other DJs on there and all that stuff that's made me a better DJ. And I just want to help people continue to be better DJs, because as we get better as a group, everybody wins, because the last thing we want is Spotify to come out with some algorithm that mixes the party for you. That's all I'm saying.
Or Beat Source.
Or Beat Source, exactly. 'Cause they've been trying that. What is that virtual thing with
Yeah.
the virtual DJ, and then it allows you to. Yeah, we're not there yet.
Everyone's trying, man.
Yeah.
And hey, if you DJs keep sucking and just following these generic playlists and playing the
Then it doesn't
same shit
matter.
over and over,
Yeah.
then we're basically going there. So think differently. We
There
need
you
a,
go.
we need a catchphrase. Think differently. Is that it, Fuse? Is that all we got?
That's it. Yeah. We just thanks for taking the time to be on the show with us today. We appreciate you sitting here and giving us your time, and we appreciate all the YouTube videos that you do for the community as well. So
Huge
thank
fans.
you.
Honestly, huge fan, dude. I watch
Thank you.
every time you drop a video, I watch it. I
Thank you
watched
very
your
much.
Rev 7 video first.
I appreciate that, and
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things I forgot to mention. But what's good about YouTube and what's good about, for instance, Drew, let's watching multiple videos is what I've learned is we all have a different voice. Like Mojax is a good friend of mine now, and I will watch Mojax's video. He'll watch mine. I don't watch them immediately. Mojax does. I don't, because it always scares me that I forgot something, and then I'll watch a video and I'll just be angry the whole time. So I'll usually wait a couple of days and then watch them. But even when I watch their videos, it's like they're saying the same things, but they're saying it in a different way. And everybody says things in a different way. And so for some people, the way I say it maybe resonates a little more than for others. And there's a lot of people that like me. There's a lot of people that don't like me. I'm okay both ways. Just find the content that works for you.
Yep. Well, dude, hey, thank you so much for being on. Huge fan. We appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on the show today. We really appreciate you, and we will until next week. We'll see you guys later.
Peace.
Enjoyed. Thank you.